Hi there, Darth Geekula here with a video that's a little different than what I've done before. This is going to be my top 7 Star Wars Black Series 6-inch action figures. So these aren't necessarily my favorite characters. These are what I consider to be the best action figures that the Black Series has made so far. So I'm taking into account sculpt, articulation, paint apps, accessories, all that stuff, and have compiled a list of what I think are the 7 best Black Series figures. Now keep in mind, I have not been able to procure the newer waves, so I think the last figures I was able to get are the Resistance Trooper and the TIE Fighter. I actually don't have the TIE Fighter pile, but that wave is the last one I got. The Resistance Trooper was the last new figure I got. So any figure that I don't have, I did not put in this list. So even if I think it's a great figure, if I don't own it, I didn't consider it for the list. Also, in case you're wondering why it's a top 7 and not a top 10, the reason for that is The Force Awakens is awesome, and it is episode 7 of the Star Wars saga. And I was also just too lazy to do videos for 10 figures, so I figured 7 would be a nice number. So, without further ado, let's get to it. So I present to you my top 7 Star Wars Black Series 6-inch action figures, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, guys, so at number 7, we have Captain Phasma. I love the design of this character, and I think the action figure really captures that. You may have just seen my arm just now. It's kind of a meat and potatoes figure. There's not a lot of accessories. It comes with the blaster, which looks nice. It's not vac metallized because in the movie, Captain Phasma is very silver and shiny. The action figure is not. It doesn't bother me too much. Had it been vac metallized and really shiny, it may have been higher on my list. But as it stands, I think everything about it is pretty much spot on. The character is much taller than the other Stormtroopers, and she is. I really like the cape. Some people wanted a cloth cape. I'm not a fan of cloth capes. I think this particular cape looks great on her. Her elbows bend quite nicely, unlike the First Order Stormtroopers, who can't really get a good grip on their guns, as you can see there. She holds her weapon quite nicely. You can get her in some good battle poses. I just kind of have her standing at attention. Really like this figure. It is great, and I like that they made it taller. Obviously, they had to make it taller because the character is quite tall, but they did not skimp out on that and made sure that she towered over the other Stormtroopers. So, Captain Phasma, really dig that figure. Ooh, and now they're shaking. Okay, guys, at number 6, I have the very cool Sand Trooper Commander. I have him flanked by a couple of his men, but I'm going with the Sand Trooper from Wave 1, from Series 1. And that is a Sand Trooper Commander, I believe, with the orange pauldron. Great figure. I mean, he's an excellently sculpted Stormtrooper. Plus, he has a really nice paint deco that they don't overdo it, but he definitely looks like a guy that's been walking around in the desert looking for droids. The only downside to the Sand Trooper, and actually all the Sand Troopers, is because of that humongous backpack, he tends to fall over. So that's why he actually has borrowed a Green Lantern figure's stand to make him stand up a little bit better. Still a great figure, and the accessories, the pauldron, the backpack. I think there are 3 different guns, 3 different blasters, I should say, that he comes with. Just a great figure. Again, this is from Series 1. What I consider probably the best series as far as paint and sculpt and everything in consideration. Really like this guy. Okay, guys, at number 5, we have the Biker Scouts. And I think these guys look awesome. Now, this list is specifically, if I can say that, for figures, not vehicles. So that's why I don't have the TIE Fighter on here. I think that's an awesome toy, but it's primarily a vehicle that comes with a pretty good figure. Plus, I didn't want to lift it and bring it over here to where I was filming. However, the Biker Scouts, I really feel that the speeder bike is more of an accessory that accentuates the figure, because obviously that's how you're going to have him displayed. It's on the bike. Very cool figure. Great sculpt on these guys. There's a little bit of dirt. Probably can't tell on my camera that's on his boots, which is very accurate. These guys kept themselves fairly clean for the most part. The bike looks great. Could be a little more paint on there, maybe, to make it look a little more metallic, but still, I think it's great. Come with these not bad stands that they can float on. You got to be careful just because of the way the weight's distributed. I do occasionally have these guys fall over if I play with them too much, but for the most part, they look great. So there you go. Was really happy to get these figures. You can find these pretty cheap in some places on clearance, so they're kind of fun to army build. And that stump is courtesy of a NECA Devil's Rejects action figure, in case you're wondering. Okay, guys, the Biker Scouts. Really, really dig these guys. Okay, guys, at number 4, we have from the Luke Skywalker Wampa 2-pack, the Wampa. The Luke Skywalker's okay. He has limited wrist articulation, which is, I think, just a no-no for a Jedi figure. He's okay, but to me, the real draw of that set was the Wampa. Very, very cool figure. I love monsters. I love the Wampa. He looks great. Great paint apps. Some blood on his mouth. It's not a perfect figure, but I really, really like it. You can also very easily take off his arm to recreate that scene. Not going to lie, I could do without that feature, only because it kind of hinders the shoulder articulation in his right arm. But regardless, I think this guy looks very scary and very cool, and that's why he's number 4, the Wampa from Empire Strikes Back. Okay, guys, at number 3, we have the Stormtroopers. Now, I have the Sand Trooper a little lower on my list, even though arguably it has better paint apps because it has to show that he's been out in the desert and he's kind of dirty. But to me, I still like just the regular Stormtroopers the best. I think Hasbro did a really great job on these. Double jointed elbows so that they can hold their weapons in a variety of ways. The sculpts, I think, are fantastic. I mean, Star Wars helmets, if you don't get it quite right, they look kind of weird. And I just think Hasbro did a perfect job on these. They are awesome to army build. They are a lot of fun. There was a time when if I saw a Stormtrooper, I would have to buy it no matter what. So I have 8 of these guys. And when you get a bunch of them together, they look awesome. Even if you just have a couple of them to sort of, be on either side of Darth Vader. Just a great fun figure, and the figure that I've army built the most. Obviously a Stormtrooper, that makes sense. Came with 2 different guns, which is cool. This kind of almost sniper rifle, and the more traditional gun of the Stormtrooper. Even better, they have the side pouch for the gun holster, I should say, and that fits in perfectly there. So very cool figures. They are number 3. They are the 6-inch Black Series Stormtroopers. Okay, guys, number 2 is everyone's favorite bounty hunter, after maybe Dog, Boba Fett, and this figure is outstanding. Very easily could have been my number 1 on a different day. Very screen accurate. Like, I think this is real. I think this is the best Boba Fett figure that's ever been made. I think it's better than the Rebel Tech. I think it's better than the Bandai model kit. Figure Arts hasn't done a proper figure of him yet, so maybe that will be better. But I just think this is great. Has great articulation, great accessories. The paint job, to me, I think is what really sells it. This is not the San Diego Comic-Con version, so I did not get Han and Carbonite. This is actually a cell phone holder or iPod holder. So that's sort of what I use for my Han and Carbonite. But this is a wonderful piece. There's another weapon that he comes with, another blaster. This is how I have him posed, just sort of at the ready, looking cool. I just think it's outstanding. The paintwork, to me, is really what puts it over the top. It's got all the dings in his helmet, and he just looks like a guy that could potentially survive anything, including a Sarlacc pit. So there he is, Boba Fett at number 2. Okay, guys, and here we are at number 1, and it is somewhat ironic that the figure that I think is the best happens to come from the movie that I think is not the best in the Star Wars saga. I think that's ironic. It might not be ironic, and that might be ironic that I think it's ironic and it's not ironic. Regardless, Darth Maul at number 1. What a fantastic figure. Couple reasons why I think this is the best. The sculpt, great sculpt. I mean, that looks like Ray Park as Darth Maul. The paint, I mean, he's pretty much black, but the tattoos, I mean, I don't see any paint slop on there. They look nice. The lines are all sharp. Also, his horns, they actually are pretty pointy. A lot of Darth Maul action figures, they kind of round out the horns because I guess they're afraid that kids will very slowly and over a long period of time stab someone with those little points. So that's cool. Also, the articulation is great, but they've utilized soft goods really well. I'm typically not a fan of soft goods just because at this scale, they don't look like actual clothing. But with Darth Maul, most of the outfit is plastic, but they've added some soft goods sort of on the side so that you can still get a lot of great leg movement. The accessories are good. The lightsaber, obviously, his double-bladed lightsaber, it does break into two to be 2 lightsabers. He also came with a pair of electro binoculars. Those his binoculars that he uses. Coolest of all, he comes with, I mean, I guess you could say it's an alternate head. It's an alternate head with a robe on it. So if you want to have him in a different look with him wearing the robe, you can do that. I think that's amazing. To me, that's a perfect, I mean, this is the ultimate Darth Maul figure. You can have him in his robe. You can have him without the robe. The articulation works great. The sculpting is great. The paint is great. It's a great figure. It really is the pinnacle of the Black Series. Sadly, the pinnacle was in the very first wave, and I don't think they've ever had a figure this good all around as far as the accessories, sculpt, paint, all that stuff. I still love the Black Series, still collecting it. I think there are still some great figures. I think the sculpts are still great. Accessories are kind of so-so. It's the paint that's been letting them down, but not on this Darth Maul. He looks fantastic. So yeah, that's it. My 7 favorite, or my top 7 Star Wars 6-inch Black Series figures, and it's Mr. Darth Maul, number 1, with a blaster blast, I guess. Okay, guys, thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed any of this, please feel free to like and subscribe. You can even leave us a comment, and I'll try to get back to you. All right, guys, may the Force be with you. Thanks a lot. Happy New Year, and see ya.